Scope, do Scope. This is Queese. Appreciate everybody's been rocking with the channel, supporting, subscribing. We appreciate it all. I had to turn on the mic on today, man. I seen a lot of discord going on when it comes to Phoenix and how a dumpster fire they've been this year and what Kevin Durant's moves are going to be. You know, is he going to get traded this summer? Is he going to stay with Phoenix? And we know that's a fast track going to nowhere. But if y'all look at the title there specifically, you might be a little bit confused with what I'm talking about. But I feel like a lot of people feel like basketball is a superhero sport. And what I mean by that is they feel like you got to make every clutch shot. You got to overcome every obstacle by yourself. You need to win every year. You got to be damn near the perfect player that don't exist. And a lot of context get left when we talk about some of the greats and why a certain situation didn't result in a championship or didn't result into more winning. We leave all the context and just place it on that person's shoulder when it's a lot of other things that go into it. Think about some of the guys that you have in your top three. We're not even going to go top five, top three. We have people that have Kobe. We have people that have LeBron. We have people that have Mike. If you have any of those guys in your top three, you would know a lot of them struggled to win when they didn't have a co-star. A lot of those guys had, seasons that didn't result in the championship. A lot of those guys had moments where they weren't able to rise to the occasion. And they ended up losing, right? But a lot of the things that happens regarding the team's success comes down to not only the players, but the organization, the team construction, all those things that Kevin Durant has suffered from since he got drafted into the league. Now, this isn't a woe me, feel sorry for Kevin Durant type of story, because obviously the man has had opportunities where it was on his shoulders and, he didn't deliver. But I think if we put everything in the full scope, he's most likely going to get traded again this summer, and I feel like this is going to put a big stain on his legacy for the casual fan and the viewing public. They're going to look at all these teams he went through and see how all these teams didn't result in winning and just place it on his shoulders. You see his leadership get attacked. Even though I watched Kevin Durant on the court, the man is directing. He's yelling at teammates. He's challenging teammates. Like, he's constantly doing that, especially on Phoenix. And he didn't do much in Golden State because you had other alphas on the team. But I watched him at points direct on the court. I also watched him become a two-way player as he got aged. You know how hard it is? A lot of players, when they get older, they lose those powers. He became a better defender as he got older. So there's certain things that he has challenged himself to do to be the best he could on the court. But let me get back to what I was saying here on the superhero sport and kind of apply it to Kevin Durant. Every obstacle guys come through, like, again, they don't just win. Mike didn't win until he had Scottie. Bron didn't win until he went to Miami. Kobe, when he lost Shaq, he couldn't win until he got Gasol. Let's go to OKC, which is where Kevin Durant's, playoff success started. That OKC team, on paper, was looking to dominate the league for years to come. I mean, they made a very early finals run, and then they was close to making it again, up 3-1 on the eventual champs and dynasty that became the Warriors. Very winnable series. And I put that on every player on the court for the reason they did not succeed. That's all their fault. But if you go into learning from that experience and coming back stronger, they weren't able to do that. Now, that's solely on the organization, especially when we have all these media platforms and you have guys like James Harden come out and say the difference between them signing me and not signing me was a few $1 million that OKC wasn't willing to do. And we all know what Harden ended up being, but that skill was always there, right? That potentially could have led them to getting the ring and being an obstacle for Miami. Wade was breaking down and Spurs was getting old. You keep that team together another couple of years, they most likely would get a ring. Because the only thing that made Golden State unstoppable was KD, like we all know. That's an organizational failure, if you ask me. That could have put him in a prime position for sustained success. And at some point, all they will be doing is rotating, picking up new role players that would excel, and that team just becomes stronger and sustained throughout the long run. You go by that part, he goes to Brooklyn. Goes to Golden State. Golden State was a situation there for him where he gets a lot of flack for, and well deservedly. I'm not going to give revisionist history. I didn't like the move at all either. I was so confident they was going to win a ring because of how they looked that I was willing to bet the house on it. Anything I own, I was telling everybody they're going to win it. Don't even watch the season. They're going to win it. Like, that's how foregone conclusion that move was. But if y'all look at the move, he did go to that team and made that team his. Now, of course, we can't get past you being up 3-1 and joining the team. That narrative has been beaten down to the ground. But if you look at the situation, he gets a lot of flack. But we all can admit that a lot of people felt like Golden State wouldn't have won if they came back the same way they was. Like, they needed another player because they felt like Cleveland was going to destroy them, and the only reason they won is because they got hurt. So on one hand, y'all feel like Golden State wouldn't have won unless they got another player, and Kevin Durant was that player. And then on the other end, they're unstoppable, right? You know what I'm saying? So at some point, he made them unstoppable, right? Like, far as what he did, but that team was also very close to losing to Houston. So again, Kevin Durant works best with structure. A lot of greats work best with structure. If there's no structure there, if you don't have an all-time coach, if you don't have an all-time organization, you're not winning. And a lot of times these players' legacies get judged on winning or not as if it's solely a player's decision, as they're supposed to overcome not having a second star. They're supposed to overcome organizational failures. They're supposed to overcome injuries and all these things and make it there regardless. And at the end of the day, if they don't, they're not that dude. And that's a really crazy situation there. Because if you look at somebody like Dirk grinded it out. Everything y'all want players to do, Dirk did. And none of y'all got Dirk in the top 10. Nobody has Dirk in the top 10 all time. And he did exactly what you guys would want to do. Never really had a co-star. Took his team to an earlier finals run. And then went back and won and beat an all-time team to do it. Dirk should be in all your top 10s if what y'all value and y'all want players to do meant enough. But he's not. But to go back to Kevin Durant's next move, he goes to Brooklyn. He forms a quote-unquote big three. Now, when this move happened, I definitely wasn't happy about this move. I was like, here we go again. Homie doing the same shit again. That move, they look so unstoppable on paper that's the only reason you seen LeBron and them trade for Westbrook. They didn't even give it the season to run that team back. They saw what that team did, what the Nets built, and LeBron panicked. That man said, trade the farm. We need to get 3 stars over here too as well. That's my theory. I feel like I'm 100% factual in that. But you look at that team only didn't succeed because of injuries. And then you go past that, they had the COVID situation, Harden bailed. It was that rookie coach. Ain't none of that had to do with KD. As far as I remember, KD was going up against the eventual champs, the Bucks, dropping 40 and 50s by himself, trying to keep them afloat when James Harden had one leg. And James Harden had one leg. Like, that man gave all he could to that team. And that was just a poorly run organization. That owner made bad move after bad move. Didn't really know how to handle situation with Kyrie. And it imploded. But unfortunately, that's a stop for Kevin Durant that goes on his resume that you formed another big three and you did not get the job done. You now go to Phoenix. We all see how a dumpster fire Phoenix is. They should have just kept Chris Paul in hindsight. Now everybody, in hindsight, right? It's easy to say that now, but Chris Paul is exactly what they needed. Or a player like Chris Paul. A player like Chris Paul is exactly what they needed. But if you look, they had Kevin Durant, Booker. We watched that finals run. They got bounced early. We knew they was missing a piece. Those geniuses decided to get somebody that's exactly like Booker. And obviously that was going to fail. Bradley Beal's never been in a winning culture. He doesn't play winning basketball. Bradley Beal did the opposite of what Kevin Durant did. Kevin Durant went to Golden State, became a better defender. Bradley Beal went to the Suns and became the exact same player. Didn't add anything different. Didn't become a better passer, a better playmaker, a better defender. Nothing. This he became a worse scorer, and he's injury prone more than he ever been. So that's an organizational move, horrible move. By doing that move, they couldn't fill out the roster. Now they got rookies like Ryan Dunn playing and other guys. You got one of the worst starting centers in the league in Nurkic. And then you get rid of him, and now you got Plumlee, who shouldn't start on any team. So, like, now you got Nick Richards, who's solid, but he's not the answer. Who's their third best player? You know, Grayson Allen fell off a cliff. Tyus Jones was supposed to be their fourth best player. Sorry, Tyus Jones was supposed to be their next other consistent rotational piece, and they just don't got it. But that's another failure on the organization, and now they're going to probably trading. But it's not because of Kevin Durant's own play that he getting traded. It's because it's a dumpster fire over there. There's not enough leadership in the world that's going to fix that team. Like, it's not. Like, you could yell all you want. You could do whatever you want. That team is just not built the correct way. I feel like if you that dude, you just supposed to meet every obstacle and just overcome it and no excuses. Basketball has never been that way, y'all. It ain't no grade y'all can name that has ever been that way. Things had to be put in place. It's the reason players leave. It's the reason Bron left Cleveland. It's the reason players leave all the time. There's certain players that have control and they don't take advantage of the situation. But there's other players that do. Every great player had situations where they could have won and didn't. But a lot of them, if y'all look at their situation and their circumstances, they were surrounded by something that aided to them getting to that ultimate prize. Great organization, maybe a great coach, great role players, great second star. And they were available. They were healthy. There was a lot of things that come into play, y'all. I don't know. I think when you look at players' legacies, because B, who was on the show, he had me looking at things differently. I used to judge players for their whole career, their whole body of work for their career. But he judges players based off of their peak years. I think that's a better way to look at it, man, because at some point, I want to ask y'all, should players be judged by their peak years only? Because if you're looking at players like, Durant, who's shooting, averaging 28 a game, 50% from the field, 40% from three, he damn near still in his peak. But he is 36, and his impact on the game is less than it ever been before. But if he's still in the league putting up those numbers, is his lack of winning still going to hurt his legacy? A lot of people still do it. A lot of people don't. Normally when they retire, a lot of times they judge people peak for peak. But while you're active, they judge you for the whole totality of your legacy. And it takes later down the road for them to go peak for peak. So I don't know, man. But I feel like this should not taint his legacy. And I feel like his career is going to be looked at not with the respect it should be. Because not only the Golden State move, but the lack of success that followed leaving Golden State. And when y'all look at, everybody always bring up Steph and how Steph won another ring. Look at that Steph team. Again, that's a great organization in Golden State. Draymond wasn't peak Draymond, but still a good version of Draymond that could change a game, either defensively or controlling the game. Still had Clay that could still shoot the lights out. Wiggins took a whole new step forward, jumped up, and became a second star, and they were able to be a well-oiled machine there. Wiggins became a second star, but without Wiggins doing that, it wouldn't have happened. But that Golden State team already had experience winning. They knew what it took, and those are the type of things that every team does not have, and that's what got them over the hump. I think that's why Boston failed so many years. They didn't have that. So y'all let me know what y'all think here, man. Again, basketball's not a superhero sport, y'all, man. You don't make every shot. You're not just supposed to just win every year. You ain't supposed to just overcome every obstacle. Things have to be in place. There has to be other things around you to be able to get you to that promised land. I think somebody like Kevin Durant legacy is going to be impacted the most by that superhero narrative that a lot of people have. But this is Through the Scope. This is Queez. Appreciate everybody still with the video, rocking with the channel. I'm out.